I raise my hand. The professor looks towards me and I begin my sentence. Guy next to me interjects and speaks, drowning out my voice. The male-identifying professor allows him to continue speaking, and I sit back, roll my eyes, and wait for the next lull in discussion to try again. Did he wonder if anyone else wanted to speak?
Observing the white, upper-class, heterosexual, male-identifying college student in class is like watching an elementary school bully crown himself king of the jungle gym during recess. It's almost as if we feel entitled to the space, entitled to expound our opinions because everyone in class needs to hear them. Unaware of the physical and figurative space that he may take up, I'm unsure if he pauses before he speaks in order to both acknowledge his space and to gaze around to understand whom he is addressing. Are we speaking just to participate? Or are we speaking because we truly care about what we are saying?
I make eye contact with one of my friends, and we both smirk, trying to make light of a far too common occurrence. Ironically, the class conversation shifts to one of privilege and respect for women. A girl across the room raises her hand and waits patiently for the professor to nod his head in her direction.
There are other students who are too hesitant or too shy to raise a hand, but their infrequent and critical comments often leave an indelible mark on the discussion. Yet can they be heard if he is trying to sneak in his fifth comment of the class? I'm curious if we know that it is okay to breathe between sentences, for there is no hourglass timing the quantity of sentences we are able to recite.
After a few guys continue to speak without raising their hands, finally the professor looks at her. She begins to speak, and the guy next to her, seemingly under the impression it was his turn, begins speaking on the topic of respect for women. The girl looks slightly taken aback and shifts uncomfortably in her seat. I sit up a little taller, raise my hand, and also verbally get the attention of the group. I think she had something to say before. Ugh, why did I say I think? Obviously, she had something to say before. A look of relief comes across her face, and she makes a particularly insightful and timely point.
From what I've both unfortunately practiced and seen, he pays minimal respect to his classmates' ideas while promoting his own as if each should be ceremoniously etched into his epitaph.
By now, the class of mostly women has caught on to the disturbing irony of the conversation and the silencing of female-identifying voices. In a rare lull in discussion, one of us points out that it is not uncommon that guys speak without glancing around to see if anyone else is patiently waiting to talk. Following a woman's voice, I quickly mention that I often have to raise my hand and direct the class's attention towards another woman who has been waiting to speak and was cut off.
When another student proposes an opposing viewpoint to him, he can and will nod as if he is listening and values your viewpoint as much as he assumes you value his, yet there lies a great facade. We will often turn to our peers during and out of the class to deride that comment, point out an unrelated flaw, or simply just mock that student.
The professor and a few guys seem taken off guard. This happens in classes here?